Hello, cyberspace astronauts. Are you ready to be entertained with pointless jibber-jabber and senseless small talk? If so, then you have come to the right place. It's the Todd Cook Show, starring Todd Cook, featuring Todd Cook, with special guest Todd Cook. Now broadcasting from his garage, here he is, Todd Cook.
Here we go again, folks. Here we go again. And I am ready. This is episode 8 of the Todd Cook Show. I am Todd Cook, and I've got a great show for you today. I'm broadcasting to you live from my garage in Wichita, Kansas. A windy day, windy and chilly day in Wichita, Kansas. And I'm glad you have taken the time to listen to this program today. On the show today, I'm going to start off at some point here and talk about a Valentine's Day misconception that we all hear every Valentine's Day, and it just is not true at all, or at least it needs to be cleared up, and I'm going to take the time to do that for you on this program. I also want to tell you about one of my pet peeves. I have several, but I'm going to tell you about one of my biggest ones coming up in this show as well. I got some music from Good and Greasy coming up. And also, I want to tell you that if the aliens that are in outer space ever find their way to this galaxy and decide to attack this planet that we call Earth, I know how they're going to do it. And I'm going to let everybody out there know as well so you can be ready to defend yourself. But I'm going to start, like I said, with the Valentine's Day. By the way, Todd Cook, the Todd Cook Show at gmail.com. That's how you can get a hold of me. Ask me any question that you want. If you want to submit some music for this program, you can do that as well. The Todd Cook Show at gmail.com is the best way to get a hold of me. You can find this show on iTunes or YouTube and some other places as well. But that's the main two places to find this program. So if you're listening to it from YouTube, then you can tell your friends that they can listen from iTunes as well. They can download the show there free of charge, of course. I couldn't charge people to buy the program if I wanted to. They do not allow you to charge for podcasts, and I would never do that anyway. But and if you're listening to it from iTunes, and you can tell your friends to listen to through YouTube. Either way, the program will sound exactly the same. But I'm going to start today with that Valentine's Day misconception. I hear this every year, and it absolutely drives me insane. It's like people just don't understand what they are saying and how wrong it really is. I normally don't mention, current events or things that are happening, right now, or like a holiday like Valentine's Day, because some of you out there might not listen to this show for a week or two from now, and Valentine's Day might be over. It could be a month from now before you listen to this show. So by the time you listen to this, it might not be anywhere near Valentine's Day. So I don't like mentioning holidays or different current events or any kind of thing that would let you know what time of the year it is or what day of the week even, for that matter. But I'm going to make an exception here because Valentine's Day is coming up, and every year this is something that happens that just drives me insane. And that is this. You see all the footage on the news channels and people talking about it on the radio about the men and how they all go into the store, to the floral department, to buy flowers on Valentine's Day, and how they, quote, wait until the last minute. And they show these hordes of men gathering around the flowers and the cards at the store, all at the last minute, and saying, boy, why can't men just plan ahead a little bit? You think they would do a little better job. They know it was going to be Valentine's Day for quite some time. It's the same day every year. Why can't they plan ahead? Why do they always have to wait until the last minute? And I am here to tell you that you have to wait until the last minute to buy flowers. That's what we're doing there, right? We're buying flowers. You can't buy flowers ahead of time, right? Doesn't that make sense? You can't buy them ahead of time. Am I supposed to hide them from you? Do you want your flowers to be all crushed in the back of the closet from being pressed back in there to keep them out of your sight so you can't see them? Is that what you want me to do? You want me to buy them a week ahead of time and then hide them in the closet You can't do that with flowers, especially if it's a nice vase and nice roses. There's nowhere to hide them. Am I supposed to put them in a box? Now, I know some flowers do that you order online will be delivered in a box, but that's not the best way. That's not how women want to get flowers. They want them to be fresh in a bouquet in a vase. Okay? How are we supposed to hide it ahead of time? You can't do that. And besides that, they are flowers. They die far too quickly, right? So if I bought them a week ago, by the time you get them, they're already going to be wilted. So this whole idea of men not being able to plan ahead enough and then going into the flower shop on the last minute, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way it has to be done. It has to be done that way. So listen, ladies, if you want flowers and you want them fresh, you got to understand that we're going to go to the store at the last minute. They are flowers. We can't hide them in a closet from you. And even if we could, you would not want us to, because by the time they get to you, they would be dead already. Now, the flower shops, they got the nice big cooler that has just the right temperature for the flowers, just the right humidity level, so they can store them there for quite a while, and they're going to last. But once we get them out of the store and we put them in our car, they instantly start to die. So please, all the news channels out there, all the radio shows out there that keep talking about what is wrong with men? Why do they wait to the last minute? We wait until the last minute because they are flowers, and we have to. And now I know there's some women out there, and I've heard this quite a bit, that they like their flowers to be delivered to them at their workplace so that all the other women see the flower delivery guy walk by with this big bouquet of flowers, and they all get jealous because they want flowers, but instead of them getting it, you're getting it. Okay, if that's your little thing that you want, I think that's silly, all right? I'm getting you flowers because I want to give you flowers. I don't want to give you flowers to make the other women that you work with jealous. So if that's the reason that you want us to not wait till the last minute, and that's what they'll say, well, you could at least order them ahead of time so they'd be delivered. No, I want to bring you the flowers. I want to set them on the kitchen counter so when you come home, they're there. Or I want to walk into your workplace and bring them to you myself. And to do that, you have to get them at the last minute. So please, ladies, don't be the kind of woman who always is looking for something bad to pick about on your man. We're going to get you flowers. And, some say, boy, you should bring me flowers more often. Well, if we brought you flowers more often, then they wouldn't be that special as on Valentine's Day and Mother's Day and whatever else we might bring you flowers. But yeah, I'd like to get flowers more often if I could, but that's not the point of the matter. The point of the matter is the last minute is the way it has to be done on Valentine's Day. If you want them to be fresh and you don't want them to be crushed in a box from being hidden in the back of the closet, then let us get them on the last minute because that's the way it needs to be done. Understood? So we can start ending this big charade, or however you pronounce that word, of everybody saying how we can't get anything done on time. We can, but the flowers have to wait till the last minute because they are flowers. All right, I'm going to start the next program, or the next segment of this program, talking about that pet peeve that I wanted to tell you about. But don't go anywhere right now, so just keep listening, and I'll be back in just a moment.
Todd Cook Show will be right back.
Hi folks, it's me, Todd Cook, and boy do I have a deal for you. Do you have a business or a website, or maybe just an event that you want to promote, but you don't have the money to invest? Well, why not try to accomplish that right here on the Todd Cook Show? Free of charge. That's right, you can run an ad right here on this podcast free of charge. However, once the Todd Cook Show starts to pick up more and more listeners, the free offer will expire. So take advantage now. All you have to do is send your recorded commercial, which is 30 seconds or less, to me at this email address, thetoddcookshow@gmail.com. That's thetoddcookshow@gmail.com, and I will play it as time allows. So send me that commercial now and help the Todd Cook Show, and the Todd Cook Show will help you.
You're listening to the Todd Cook Show.
Hey, I am back. This is Todd Cook. You're listening to The Todd Cook Show. The Todd Cook Show at gmail.com is the best way to get a hold of me for any reason whatsoever. The Todd Cook Show at gmail.com. Feel free to post something on my YouTube channel as well. If you listen to this program through the YouTube channel, there's a place down below that you can leave your comments on there as well. I got a lot of things to get to on this program still, and it might be longer than a half hour. I try to keep the show about a half hour, and sometimes I go a little bit over. Today I might go a lot over, but I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I'm going to start now by telling you about that pet peeve that I have, and I do have several pet peeves, but this is one of my bigger ones. And also, we got music by Good and Greasy. Don't forget about that. That's coming up here in just a few short minutes. My pet peeve that I want to talk to you today about are flip-flops. And now this time of the year, we don't have to worry about it too much because it's kind of cold here and there's not too many people wearing flip-flops, at least not outside in public. But flip-flops drive me insane. Every time I see somebody wearing flip-flops in public, I want to take them aside and say, go home and get dressed and put some shoes on, please. I don't want to see your feet. First of all, feet are not real attractive, I don't think. There are some people out there that think feet are attractive, but I actually think feet are ugly. I don't want to see them. Even if you're ladies, even if your toenails are painted, doesn't matter. Your feet are still ugly. Sorry. I don't like feet. I don't need to see them. And let me explain this little problem I have with flip-flops. And I think I talked about this on the last incarnation of the Todd Cook Show as well, but it didn't seem to help because I still see people wearing flip-flops all the time during the summer. And I want to try to end that right now. Now, if you wear them around the house as slippers, that's fine. You know, if you want to go out and get the morning newspaper and you just slip them on to be able to go outside, or as you're walking around the house to make sure that you don't step in a wet spot on the floor. And if your house is anything like mine, if you got kids like I do, there's always a chance there's going to be a wet spot, and a dog as well. There's always a pretty good chance that somewhere in the house there's going to be a wet spot. So I can understand around the house, it's not a problem. But here's where I have a problem. Or at the beach even. You know, if you're at the beach, the sand's kind of hot, and you need something to be able to easily put on your feet, as you're walking across the hot sand or the sidewalk or the parking lot back to your car. Then you can take them off easily as you get in the water. That's fine as well. Or even in like a public shower, like if you shower at the YMCA or anywhere where other people have been, and you don't want to get the tofu, as I like to call it, the toe fungus or something. They're fine there as well. So around the house as slippers, at the beach or in a public shower in some kind of setting like that, they're fine. But you should not be allowed to wear flip-flops into a restaurant. And I don't mean, it doesn't have to be a nice restaurant. It can be McDonald's. You should not be allowed to wear flip-flops into a restaurant. You know, they have the sign on the door of a lot of these establishments, and even businesses, Walmart's, a grocery store, wherever it might be. They have the sign on the door that says, no shoes, no shirt, and no service. Flip-flops should not count as shoes. And if I was a business owner, I think if people came in with flip-flops on, I'd turn them away at the door and say, no, you got to go home and put some real shoes on. And people say, they are shoes. No, they're not. Let me explain. Let's say a man, walked into a store with no shirt on, just a backpack, just wearing a backpack with no shirt. Would you think that's acceptable for a restaurant or for Walmart or for anywhere else? No, he's not wearing a shirt. If I can see both of your nipples and your hairy belly button, you're not wearing a shirt. And the same goes for flip-flops. If I can see your dry, crusty, cracked heels and your dirty toenails and your crooked little toes, you're not wearing shoes. Go home, put something on that covers up your feet. That's what a shoe is. It's something that covers up your feet, not just a little piece of cardboard and a rubber band that goes between your toes. Shoes. I'm talking about real shoes. And so, once again, flip-flops are not shoes. Please, cover up your feet. Have a little class. Before you leave, you can't go out. Some people go out in their pajamas and stuff, but you shouldn't go into a restaurant or in any place just wearing your pajamas. Get dressed. And that includes putting on a pair of shoes. And I know it's a lot of effort. Well, flip-flops, I can just slide my feet in them. Slide one foot in, slide the other foot in, and I'm out the door. Sorry. You might have to put a little effort into it. You might have to bend over, slide your shoes on, maybe you need a pair of socks, and tie them and hurt your back. Bending over, you maybe got a sore back or something. But that's the price you pay to be able to go out in public. I don't want to see your feet, okay? And ladies, you can put all the toenail polish you want on your feet. I'm not going to notice. I try not to look at feet whatsoever. So if you're putting the toenail polish on, and I think most guys are like that too. We don't look at feet, say, oh, wow, look at that nice toenail polish. You do it for yourself or for your other lady friends. That's the only reason you put that toenail polish on. There's no guys out there that need toenail polish or say, man, I'm not going to be with this lady unless she's wearing nice toenail polish. We don't care, okay? Just put some socks on and some shoes before you go out in public, please. I'm begging you. Now, slip-on shoes are fine. I got a pair of shoes that require no effort whatsoever. I can be barefoot or have socks on. Don't even have to bend over. Just step into the shoe, slide them on, and they work great. So that's all. I've got other pet peeves, and maybe in a later program I will tell you about those as well. But and another thing about flip-flops. Okay, I almost forgot this. This might be the most important part. This might be the most annoying part of flip-flops. It's the noise they make. You know why they call them flip-flops? Because they flip and they flop as you're walking. Flip, flop, flip, flop. I can't tell you how many times I've been walking around somewhere in a store and I hear the noise, flip, flop, flip, flop. And I know it's somebody behind me with flip-flops. It's just like a lady with high heels. You can hear them coming. You can hear people coming with flip-flops as well. If I bought a pair of shoes and I walked out of the store and they were making a noise, maybe a squeaking noise or something, I'd turn around, I'd go back inside and say, I need a new pair of shoes. I don't like these. They make noise. But with flip-flops, for some reason, it's okay. I don't want to hear you flipping and you're flopping as you're walking. I don't want to see your toes as you're walking around. One last time, please, everybody, let's end this insanity right now. Flip-flops are meant for home use or the beach or a public shower. Not in public, not in restaurants. Thank you. Hopefully this problem has been solved, and this summer I won't see any flip-flops out there anymore. With that, let's go ahead and play that tune from Good and Greasy. Actually, things are moving on pretty well here. I think I'll get this in a half hour, a lot easier than I thought I would. This next song is a song by the band that I am in, Good and Greasy, and the reason I am playing this song is because the bass player for our band wrote it. His name is Clay Richmond, and Clay is leaving the band. He is moving to Missouri, and that's a little too far to commute. I don't think he'd be able to make the practices or the gigs, every week, driving all the way from Missouri to Wichita. So, yeah, he is leaving the band, and I'm going to play this song that he wrote. And the story behind the song is it's based on a true story. He said he fell out of bed one night, and the next day he wrote this song about it. And the funny thing is, and this is the story that we always like to tell at our gigs, is he said the story is that he fell out of bed, but his wife always says the song should have been, I pushed you out of bed. But anyway, so here it is, a song written by Clay Richmond for the band Good and Greasy on the Todd Cook Show. It's called I Fell Out of Bed.
Fell out of bed again last night. Not once, but I did it twice. I remember what you said. It's all in my head. I fell out of bed again last night. Got off the floor again last night. Not once, but I did it twice. I remember what you did before you run and hid. I got off the floor again last night. last night. Not once, but I did it twice. How could it be true? What got into you? I wandered round the room last night. Got back into bed last night. Not once, but I did it twice. I didn't get my say before you went away. I got back into bed last night. Everybody sing, I fell out of bed again last night. Not once, but I did it twice. I remember what you said, it's all in my head. I fell out of bed again last night. Oh yes, and I fell out of bed again last night.
I Fell Out of Bed Again Last Night by Clay Richmond. Clay is going to be really missed by the band, and but I'm sure he's a talented guy, and if he wants to get back into music when he gets to Missouri, it won't take him but a week or two to find a band to jump in. And so I thought that I'd play that song. I thought it'd be appropriate because he, by the time he hears this, he'll probably be in Missouri. All right, and also on the next episode of the Todd Cook Show, I'm going to have a real commercial. And as you guys know, I've been playing that fake commercial. It's a commercial trying to get commercials played on the Todd Cook Show. But next week, I'm going to hopefully and have a actual real commercial. So tune in next week for episode 9 of the Todd Cook Show, and you will be able to hear that. All right, let me finish this show to tell you about the aliens. If aliens ever make it to this galaxy, the Milky Way, and they find our solar system, and then they find our little planet called Earth, and they decide to attack, this is how they're going to do it. And the reason they're going to do it this way is because it works really well. Here's what they are going to do. First of all, these are going to be flying aliens, just to make this make sense. These are going to be aliens that are able to fly in the sky, not just with their spaceships, but on their own. They'll be able to fly. And there'll be a whole bunch of them. And what they are going to do, they're going to line up in columns in the sky, horizontal or vertical columns and horizontal rows as well, kind of a grid, a big grid of aliens in the sky. And they're going to take this big grid of aliens and they're going to start to move one direction, little movements at a time, one little jerk at a time, little movement, move, all together in unison, in formation in the sky. They're all going to move together, move. And at some point, when they get over to a certain point in the sky, they're going to drop down a little bit lower and start moving to the other direction. Move. And then when they get to a certain point in the sky on the other side of the sky, they're going to move down again and start moving in the other direction. Move. And they're going to keep doing this as they're getting closer and closer to us. And the entire time they're doing this, they are going to randomly start dropping bombs on us, okay? And we're going to be moving around on the ground trying to shoot at them. And it'll be a big grid. There'll be a couple dozens of them in the sky, maybe even more than that. And they'll be moving back and forth, and not real fast, just slow, jerky movements, move. And we're going to be shooting up into this grid of dozens of aliens, and you're going to be amazed how many times that we are going to miss, how many times our little missiles are going to fire into the air and go right between the columns of aliens. I mean, and then every now and then, they're going to take their little spaceship, and they got lots of spaceships, and they're going to fly that spaceship over us, and just to mock us, that's all. Because if you try to shoot that spaceship, you might shoot that spaceship, but in the process of concentrating on trying to shoot that spaceship, you're going to get hit by one of the bombs that they are dropping on you. That's how it's going to work, okay? And yes, I'm talking about Space Invaders. This strategy works really well in the game, and I think it would work well in real life. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I've been playing that game quite a bit here lately. We got a little plug-and-play, one of those handheld devices that you hold in your hand with the joystick and the buttons on it, and you got the audio and the video cord that go out, and you plug into your TV. We got it for my son, I guess it was for Christmas, just a few months back, and I've been playing it more than he has. And the reason is I've been trying to lose a few pounds and getting on the exercise bike, and I cannot seem to do it as long as I need to unless I have something else occupying my mind. I found just listening to a podcast on the radio or watching a TV program as I do it just isn't enough. I need to be involved in whatever is going on. And I used to play the Wii. And, I'd bowl while on the exercise bike or, do the boxing game or tennis or something. And but now I've been playing this game, and it's just all I want to do is get by the first level of Space Invaders, and it was driving me insane. I mean, it's amazing how slow those stinking aliens move. And I remember this from when I was in grade school, on Atari. Either I was way better back then, or the game has gotten harder. This version of the game is harder maybe, but it was all I could do to get through the first level. I got 3 guys, and it took me forever. And I finally got through it actually twice on 2 different occasions, and that's all I wanted to do. And after I did that, I went on to the next game. But, so I've been playing Space Invaders and trying to lose weight here, and so far it's worked. I've dropped a few pounds, and I've killed a few aliens, and they've killed me multiple times as well. And then at some point, I got tired of the Space Invaders, but I had to, stay on the bike. So I went on to there's like 10 games on this little thing. One's a golf game, which I couldn't figure out, and then there's one called Quicks. And if you ever see a game called Quicks, you need to look at it. It's about as old school as it gets. Qix, excuse me. I'm assuming it's pronounced Quicks, Quick, something like that. But that's one of the most bizarre games. I don't know who came up with that. But either way, I've been having fun shooting these aliens. But if they do ever come to Earth, that's how they're going to do it, because it works really well. It's very difficult. You might get some of the aliens, but they're going to get you. For every one of them that you kill, they're going to kill 5 of you. So anyway, I think that's it for this episode of the Todd Cook Show. I got to reach my computer and start the music here. So thanks to everybody who listened today. And thanks to Clay Richmond as he makes his travel. He's the voice of the Todd Cook Show, by the way, and he will be until I get somebody else to do it. But he's going to Missouri. He's leaving the band Good and Greasy behind, and I wish him nothing but the very best. I know he listens, so thanks, Clay, for the last 3 years. You're a talented guy, and Good and Greasy was a better band because of it. That's all for this show, so thanks to everybody for listening, and good luck to everybody out there on whatever they're going to do this week. I hope you have a great week, and I will be on here next week, and you can tune in then and listen. And just let me do the talking. I'm Todd Cook. This is the Todd Cook Show, and I'll see you next week. Bye.